Good morning. June 21st. We had a very good week again in agriculture as far as the grains, except for corn, down 2 cents in corn for the week. November soybeans up 6, but wheat had a much better week on this shortened week with this uh, odd holiday in the middle of a week. September Chicago wheat up 24 cents this week. Minneapolis up 11. That wasn't as much this week, but actually Minneapolis is up 70 cents since May 16th. Ironically, wet conditions in Chicago is deteriorating the quality, I guess, actually, of Kansas City and Chicago wheat, both the soft red and hard red wheat. The winter wheat harvest is not going well, and that's actually boosting the price of Minneapolis wheat, especially because, of course, they're going to need protein when they wash out the protein in that winter wheat crop. So spring wheat is up 70 cents since May 16th. August crude oil up $2.56 this week. It's up 40% since May 5th, just a little over a month. And of course, the Middle East crisis. They've got an exchange program between Israel and Iran, but it's not students. They're exchanging missiles right now. So it's not good, but it is very good for energy producers because crude prices are 40% in the past month. August gold down $67 for the week. So the United States is winning, and basically, the United States and Israel. When you kind of combine the dollar strength plus 0.537 and the August gold going down, the United States is winning. The only problem, of course, is the crude oil is up, and war is also positive grains, but grains have some pretty decent weather for the most part, other than winter wheat. That's what's holding back corn and soybeans. Here's a weekly crop progress as of June 16th. Corn 72% rated good, excellent. That actually improved 1%. Our yield model jumped above trend, up 2 bushel last week, and now 2 bushel or so over trend. Soybeans, 66% good, excellent, go in the opposite direction. Corn going up, soybeans going down. Soybean conditions down 2%, the yield model down 0.05, 51.59, below trend, the opposite of corn, and well below USDA, almost a bushel. Hard red spring wheat gaining 4%, but it's only 57% rated good, excellent, way below, 20% almost below last year. Winter wheat conditions dropped 2%, and our yield model dropped a huge 0.51 bushel to 53 bushel. That's why winter wheat's going higher, soybeans are going higher, spring wheat is going higher, and corn is going lower. These conditions are showing a difference between corn conditions, which are better than average, and soybeans and spring wheat and winter wheat, which are going the opposite direction. Topsoil moisture is still rated pretty high, 77%, adequate surplus, 2% below last week, but a little higher than last year. 74% on the subsoil, down 1%, but it's still a little higher than last year. So that kind of gives you the condition of the crop this year. Here's those charts. Corn, of course, still basically in bottoming action because that crop continues to improve. Wants to go higher, but doesn't have a reason to weather-wise yet. Here's soybeans, though. New recent highs, and you have a trend going higher in soybeans, completely different than corn, a below average crop and a bushel below USDA at 290 million carryout. We're basically at 210 right there. So you have a bullish situation in soybeans. We just need some weather news to trigger an even more bullish situation, but actually looking a lot better there. The winter wheat booming higher this week, so running above that resistance. This, I think you could call it a breakout from the downtrend. Winter wheat is rallying right now, and they've got a harvest problem. They've only got 10% harvested, 6% below normal, and they've got wet conditions. This week was actually one of the better weeks, but not good overall. And of course, you could see the impact on spring wheat rallying 70 cents in the past month because the winter wheat is deteriorating. The protein level, when you wash out the winter wheat, bleach it out, the protein level of winter wheat is going down. The supplement for that is spring wheat. Spring wheat is going up the fastest, when they have winter wheat harvest problems. Kind of odd, but that's basically the way the wheat markets work. And here's the forecast. You've still got wet, normal to above normal conditions in the 8 to 14 day. And in the next week, there will be a little bit of a reprieve, but we still have wet and now warm conditions forecast over the next couple of weeks. So, how will that affect that winter wheat harvest? Here's one of the most interesting markets going in the crude oil from May 5th, going from the low of the year to now the high of the year, rallying 40% from $55 basically to $75. Wow, you have a dynamic bull market. It's amazing what that exchange program of missiles between Iran and Israel will do in the Middle East. Powder keg of the world is basically the Middle East. And look at the US dollar showing a little strength. The US is winning the war, basically, is what I'm saying. But you have a new low in the US dollar. The dollar is strengthening some because, of course, the Israel and basically the US weapons are winning that war. It makes the US look stronger. Here is the gold market. Gold showing some weakness this week, down for the week, but boy, gold is still on the verge, on the cusp of rallying to new all-time highs. Maybe we just need a little powder keg here in the markets to trigger that. But what a dynamic market in the crude oil. And the grains, I think, have bottomed. I think wheat and soybeans are obviously trending higher. We really should buy soybeans back to replace corn at this point, because corn does not look like the bull market we're going to have. If we develop problems, I think we can hurt the soybean crop a lot more now than we can hurt the corn. But wheat, winter wheat, is having harvest problems. The spring wheat is not rated very good. Really, we haven't had a dynamic problem weather-wise in grain crops, so to trigger a much more significant rally at this point. But we do see some issues, and the market is just very, very cheap after dropping for 3 years. The market is looking for a reason to rally. I think soybeans have the most reason to rally, and I think that they're probably going to go higher. Actually, a great spec trade. We bought soybeans, maybe it was about a couple weeks ago, around 10.50 or so, and soybeans are rallying. Actually, another spec trade is spring wheat. Spring wheat is rallying. Of course, you got to pick your entry point, but actually there's positive news in the grains. That's what we've been waiting for a long, long time. But we still need to generate something weather-wise, maybe more than just winter wheat harvest delays to trigger that potential rally. Hope you have a great weekend and good marketing.